A male robber entered the bank shortly before 10 a.m. today and demanded money from a teller. No gun was seen, but the robber had his hand in his pocket in a suspicious manner. Police responded to a silent alarm and quickly locked the bank lobby, but the man had escaped with an undisclosed amount of cash. Witnesses say that at first, no one realized what had happened.
You notice
everything just went nuts. Everybody starts running around in a panic. There was a guy running saying, "You go ahead and let some people out." It was some old guy, about 60 or 70. Walked out with something. Nobody saw him. Nobody got a look at him. All they saw was like this gray hair going out the door.
The suspect fled the scene on foot. Authorities questioned and released bank customers one at a time, attempting to gain clues that would lead to the suspect. He is described as 5 feet 10 inches tall, heavy-set, wearing prescription glasses with light brown plastic rims. He was wearing a blue coat and hat at the time of the robbery. When the FBI arrested Sean DeKinga in connection with a bank robbery in Two Harbors, they thought they had solved that crime and perhaps several other bank robberies in the area. With today's heist in Duluth, authorities have yet another suspect to find. In Duluth, Derek Hines, News 6.
To meet that goal.
President Clinton made it clear to the American people that higher taxes and sacrifice are in store. Calling his proposed tax changes contributions, Clinton asked the American people to be prepared for the inevitable.
We just have to face the fact that to make the changes our country needs, more Americans must contribute today so that all Americans can do better tomorrow. But I can assure you of this, you're not going alone anymore.
Northlanders we talked to say they're willing to make some kind of contribution, but not too much.
Well, a few dollars, but leave the Social Security alone. When we get up there, you know, most of us up in this neck of the woods, they don't make much of a income as far as Social Security.
Let them cut the expenses that they have. Cut down some of those programs.
I think he needs to raise taxes. I think everybody needs to do their part to get rid of the deficit.
The investment community is trying to find ways to take the sting out of higher taxes and recommend investors re-examine their situation.
I have never sat down with anybody who wants to pay more than their fair share to Uncle Sam. There are ways to make sure that you're not spending money in taxes that you need to. That's more important for a higher income type person, but it applies just as importantly to the average investor.
The stock market dropped sharply in heavy trading Tuesday, losing 83 points, leaving some question on what effect Clinton's proposals will have on the economy.
While investors make predictions, taxpayers are holding their breath, waiting to hear more specifics about Clinton's tax plan. They want to hear how he'll define contributions. In Duluth, Derek Hines, News 6.
And what happened in our situation was that people who normally would take longer trips wound up staying closer to home. So we had a fairly large market coming in from obviously the Twin Cities area, but also from Chicago and Milwaukee and some of the Midwest cities who may have ordinarily gone to Yellowstone or the Grand Canyon or somewhere out west.
West Side Story was written in 1956-57 when they first hit on Broadway. Oh, I'm trying to think of which movie. And so she said yes. I said, hi, this is Dr. George from Kansas State. Can you do me a favor? Pilot light and put his head in the oven and they gas him to death. Anything to take the gun out of your hands. Talk to me about it.
Two things happen with the media bombardment of violence. Number one is the adolescent gets to feel as if, hey, violence is no big deal. And then they start to act on it in their life without understanding all the repercussions.
Okay, at 3:15 this date, the Police Communications Center received a call that a woman was down and bleeding at 3818 East St. Croix Street here in Superior. Our uniformed squads arrived at the scene simultaneously with paramedics from the Douglas County Sheriff's Department. Preliminary investigation revealed that we have a death investigation. Dead is an adult female, 50 years of age. Presently, the incident is being investigated by investigators from the Superior Police Department.
Status was she didn't get any notice until January the 14th saying that they needed.
Also asking for the support of the citizens and residents of the community. We've been here for 22 years.
So we hope.
My name is Wendy Nelson. I'm the Executive Director of the Duluth Community Health Center. For those of you who are aware of our service, we are a community health center serving low-income, uninsured, underinsured.
Firefighters battled the blaze from midnight until dawn as thick smoke belched out of broken windows. Heating and electricity had been turned off in the building, so arson is suspected.
If we eliminate any heating or electrical or any other cause that could possibly have done it accidentally, there's only one other choice left. And so it's leaning very strongly towards arson.
The building reignited late in the afternoon but was contained. One UMD graduate was in shock as she saw what remained of the building.
I haven't been here. I just haven't been here for such a long time. Oh, my God.
The Duluth Normal School, which later became the university, was built at the turn of the century. It burned once before in 1901. 92 years and 1 day later, it burned again. But it was memories of the good times that were remembered today.
Oh, yes. We stood out there and smoked cigarettes and fell in love and talked and, hashed over the plays and the successes until 1 in the morning. And
in Duluth, Derek Hines, News 6.
Oh.
Richard Augulus, and I'll present that to you and then read the letter. Congratulations, Dick, to you and your staff. Nice job. The radar that was out of service, so we got the radar up and running. There's your certificate. Kim Pye, meteorologist intern, was struck at a time and location that placed thousands of holiday tourist virtual staff certificates symbolize our appreciation for a job well done. The National Weather Service, congratulations, David.
Thank you, Chris.
Nice job. And also Roger Roger. Citizens of Minnesota exemplified by your combined efforts.
Part of the problem is the population is so sparse up here that I think it happens a lot more than people actually realize, and that's why we have to be even more prepared, I think, than a place that gets lots of tornadoes, because when it happens here, it's going to be something unusual and maybe people aren't prepared, and we have to go that extra yard to make sure everybody is more prepared for that kind of situation.
Governor Thompson's latest tax proposal would hit smaller units of government head on. The plan calls for a freeze on all property tax increases from all levels of government, from counties to cities to school districts. Thompson says it's the only fair way to curb government spending.
43 other states across the country have got some kind of cost controls on local spending. We haven't in Wisconsin, and our property taxes are going up at an alarming rate.
Thompson's proposal, by preventing tax increases, would force county and municipal governments to find other ways to cut spending and absorb cost of living increases for at least 1 year. Those who most strongly support holding the line on taxes are still concerned about the governor's plan, which would limit flexibility for even the most conservative of governments. But the business community, who also pay property taxes, say it may be the only way to prevent what they call automatic tax increases.
The initial response we've had from members is that it might be a very good thing for the community, that local units of government need to really think about what they're doing spending-wise when they can no longer perhaps automatically pass it on to the property tax.
And even though some people are going to get their noses out of joint because the state is imposing it, it's still, we have to reduce the kind of spending habits that have been taking place across the state of Wisconsin at the local units of government.
The plan has received early support in the legislature, but local units of government are expected to pressure for a modified plan in the coming weeks. In Superior, Derek Hines, News 6.
The hulking C-130s are ready to carry the relief supplies to Bosnia, but the first flights will drop 600,000 leaflets. They will alert the warring factions that the planes are on a peaceful mission and tell hungry people below to be ready. For security reasons, the takeoff time will not be disclosed. The emergency supplies are being packed for airdrops over Muslim, Serb, and Croat areas of Bosnia. The parachutes on top each carton will only steady the 80-foot-a-second fall.
The total weight of the combination of the medical supplies and the MRE food is 600 pounds. Okay? Those bundles there in front of you is strictly meals, food, and they weigh approximately 1,550 pounds.
Some Western allies and U.S. military analysts doubt the effort will do much to end the suffering. For safety reasons, the drop will be made from 10,000 feet.
But the missiles can go up a lot higher than 10,000 feet that I understand.
The flight time for a C-130 from Frankfurt to Bosnia is about 3.5 hours. Relief supplies will be dropped over the target areas and then the flight back. A long, slow, and for a few moments, dangerous journey. Rick Davis, NBC News, Frankfurt.
Wrong. Thousands of times I've heard, yeah, I kicked.
So I'm just as worried about the 5 murders as I am about the 5 domestic abuse and the 5 kids beating on each other in the playground. They're all bad, and we got to stop it all, but we can't just focus on the murders.
Dated March 1st, 1993, alleging 1 count of first-degree reckless homicide. At this time, we waive reading of the complaint.
That's satisfactory.
Yes.
Mr. Madsen, all set bail and the cash
Mr. Mattson was a suspect from the beginning. Part of an investigation just takes time interviewing. Those interviews had reached a point, and the information we received indicated that we believe we had probable cause to charge him with this crime.
Outcome-based and environmental curriculum. Put it in some information that we have is $50,000 for fire for the community and for the area in which we live.
This is how little threads start unraveling areas of rural communities. Once that thread starts unraveling, you lose this, you lose that, you lose your local school. Why even, you just get kind of left out of the picture, and that.
Would stay there, and we could build a new magnet school attached to the community center.
There's been a
providing them support and protection. It is our concern that completing a batter's group or chemical dependency treatment. Acts of domestic violence occur every 18 seconds in the United States. In 95% of cases, women are the victims of domestic violence. As we gather here today, at least 10 women will experience acts of domestic violence in the United States.
Deborah Blackstock, Silver Bay, February 1990.
We want to thank these stations for allowing us to use their places of business as distribution points. Ribbons may also agree.
There's a tendency to provide better quality care. The other concern people have, if somebody were to come in and buy the facility, would they be staffing at the same levels we're staffing now? And I know that's a concern of the employees, and employees have always prided themselves in providing good quality care to the residents here, and I think that's their concern, that the staffing levels may not be the same as they are right now.
Charts and graphs in hand, Reginald Nolan attempted to explain why the district is short $4 million. Over $3 million of the deficit is blamed on overprojection for enrollment.
Didn't expect that at all. Thought maybe we were really truly dealing with about a $1.6 million deficit.
In addition, there is a major cash flow problem, $14 million to be exact.
Because it's very evident now that we have to cut the operational size of the district down in order to survive. And I think it's essential that we close the buildings.
Nolan says closing 5 schools will save $1.5 million and help reduce staff.
I think it's fairly obvious and it's very evident to say that when you deal with a problem of this magnitude, that you are really dealing with a labor problem as part of that. And it would be, we're 85% labor.
Another problem the superintendent is facing, resistance from within central administration, including rumors that he misused funds for high-ranking officials.
And I'm also prepared, if the board thinks it's an issue and that type of thing, I would even reimburse the district with my own personal money. One of the things I want to make very clear is that I don't want to give any impression that the superintendent of schools is dishonest.
Janine Johnson, News 6.